Hello everyone and welcome to week 9 of the GBA D-League. Your New York Empoleon are 6-2, just coming off a huge win against Melon. That was an incredible game. The tech worked. Everything went as planned. We did what we set out to do. That's what we need to do here. Be clinical, be thorough, be thoughtful against Techno and the Carolina Pantherians. He just played Leo in his first week in the league. Welcome to the league, dude. Really close match, so I'm expecting an incredible battler up against me this week. Now, he is going to be rocking, as I'm predicting, Alolan Persian, Masquerain, Kyurem Black, Azumarill, Jirachi, and Tapu Bulu. Emboar is a big threat if it's run especially offensive with some crazy tech moves like Scald and Grass Knot. That would be a big problem for my team. Additionally, he could run something else on his team, but I'm thinking that the Raichu is probably not as big of a problem, especially because I could bring the Dugtrio and stuff like that. But on my side, we are going to be bringing Ditto, Tornadus Eye, Caxorus, Milotic, Victini, and Gigalith this week. Now, I think this is the squad that is going to be matched up as well as possible against Techno's team. Now, hopefully you guys go show him some love. Go check out his channel. And just before we get started, I do want to apologize if I sound a little weird right now. I just got back yesterday from an Ultimate Frisbee tournament, so if I'm bright red, it's because I'm a little sunburned, and if I am, my voice is shot, it's because I've been screaming all weekend. We ended up losing in the semifinals, finishing 4th overall. Incredible weekend, but anyway, the 5-2 we went as a Frisbee team this weekend. It does not matter to you all. Right now, what we need to do is go up to 7-2 going into week 10 of the GBA D-League. Now, I hope you guys enjoy this battle, and I will see you guys back here in a second with Techno. Hey everyone, welcome back. You may notice that I did make a couple changes. I was actually wrong about some of my team. It's been a long weekend, so Bisharp, not Ditto, Mega Venusaur, not Victini. It's all good. We see the Nidoking, Persian, Emboar, Jirachi, Mega Aerodactyl. No Kyurem Black at all. No Kyurem Black against me at all. No Tapu Bulu against me at all. Hold the phone, everybody. What is going on right now? Alright, so that's fine. Kyurem Black is replaced by Nidoking, and no Masquerain, which means no Webs. Instead we have the Emboar, and I think I got everything else right. No Tapu Bulu, got the Mega Dactyl instead. So, and then the rest of it should be correct. So, that's fine. Probable leads, he might lead with the Jirachi to get his Stealth Rocks up. He may lead with the Aerodactyl to get his Stealth Rocks up as well. He could lead with his Nidoking to get the Stealth Rocks up. He's got a lot of possible Stealth Rockers. I could go with the Gigalith lead, which handles both the Nidoking or the Aerodactyl, depending on which one of those he decides to lead with, but doesn't really like seeing a Jirachi very much. I could go with the Tornadus, which handles everything except the Aerodactyl in that lead set, or I could go with the Milotic, which kind of hits all three of them and doesn't really take super effective damage from any of them. So I think we're going to go with the Milotic here, which does have the Rindo Berry, which isn't useful in this matchup at all, unless he's running the special Emboar that I was talking about before. It was really there for the Tapu Bulu, but we don't see it, so that's fantastic. I am A-okay with not seeing a Tapu Bulu stare me down right now. Yeah, so good luck to my opponent, and here we go. We are getting into this battle straight away. We are going to lead with that Milotic, as I predict him to try to get his rocks up with something or other. And it is the Nidoking. So this thing could have Thunderbolt. We do have to watch out for that. That is definitely a possibility. Let's take a look at Nidoking versus Milotic with a Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will do about 60% if he's Life Orb, Sheer Force, Modest. But if he is not like all of those things, if he's Scarf or something, then Scald is a very free play against his team. His only possible switch-ins being Azumarill or Alolan Persian, which both don't appreciate a burn at all. And it does about 70% to a Nidoking. So we're going to do that, and if he does go for the Thunderbolt, we can react to that appropriately on the next turn, since it will not kill. Even if he is Modest Specs, let's take a look at that really quick. Yeah, Thunderbolt cannot kill me. He cannot have a Z move this week. That's interesting to note as well. Both of his Z users, Raichu and Kyurem, aren't here. So he does have the Thunderbolt. He goes straight for it. Let's take a look at the damage. Not even 50%. No burn, no para. That's fine. So he's got Thunderbolt. and he doesn't do 50%, so we're looking at not Life Orb, probably Scarf damage, which would do, let's say Scarf Timid potentially, and I'm at 112 out of 202. Yeah, so that looks like maybe Scarf Timid damage. So I'm gonna write down Scarf question mark. So I'm not 100% sure he's Scarfed, but it doesn't look like he's Life Orb. And our damage, that was a lot of damage to him, to be honest. That was a really high roll on that Scald right there, which is amazing, and gives me another chance to go for another Scald if I want to right here, and potentially take out his Nidoking. It puts my Milotic really low where he can potentially revenge it with something, and he may switch out here, which gives me a free Recover if he does decide to switch out. I think Recover might be my best play, whether he goes for the Thunderbolt or not, just because it gives me the Scout. It's not doing 50%, so I'm going to go for the Recover here. He sets up his Rocks. Okay, so he's not Scarfed. He's for sure not Scarfed. And we are going to have Rocks on our side of the field, which is okay. We can deal with those. We do have the Tornadus with Defog on it. And we're going to be back to full health here. Now, I am going to click Scald again. I really have no downside to that play. Might have been nice to get rid of the Nidoking early. He may switch it out now and try to preserve it for Stealth Rocks later in the game. But I don't know what set he's running, if he's running, like what item he's running on that, because it can't be Life Orb because it didn't do enough damage. So he's going to switch it out. He's going to preserve that thing. That's fine. So definitely not Scarf. Let's erase that. So there's the Azumarill. Burn would be amazing right now. A Burn would be huge. So not very effective. No Burn. So that's not ideal. That's not a situation we want to find ourselves in. Venusaur is a pretty free switch into an Azumarill. It's not Mega Evolved yet, but I really don't mind. Azumarill to a Venusaur. Where's my Venusaur set? There it is. Azumarill. I mean, even if he Belly Drums here, he still doesn't kill with anything. And he doesn't have speed either, naturally. So he'd have to have a decent amount of speed investment in order to outspeed me. So I'm going to go into the Venusaur here, which is a pretty free play. It allows me to click Sludge Bomb pretty freely, or Leaf Storm, depending on what I want to go for. And let's see, so did he bait that? He goes for the Whirlpool, so he's going to be a Trap Azumarill set. That's interesting. The Whirlpool makes me think he may be Sap Sipper, not Huge Power. So I do want to go for the Sludge Bomb and not risk any sort of shenanigans with my Leaf Storm going into a Sap Sipper Azumarill right now. So we're just going to click Sludge Bomb. He may go out into his Jirachi. He stays in. So what's he going to try to do right now is the real question. He may be running like Kibia Berry with the Sap Sipper to try to really counter Mega Venusaur. So he's got the Whirlpool Protect set. Let's see what... He's not Leftovers, though, which is fine. And we're going to take a little bit of damage from the Whirlpool. If this doesn't kill, if he's got the Kibia Berry or something, tries to set up maybe a Perish Song, then I can Synthesis on the following turn when he protects, and then go for another Sludge Bomb and be relatively healthy. So he's going to switch out. He's going to go out into his Jirachi here, most likely. He is going to go into the Jirachi. Didn't want to predict that at this point in time. Now, he could have a Psychic-type move, obviously. He could just go for something like a Thunder Wave here, which I really don't want to see him Thunder Wave. I think Venusaur is important for the rest of this game because it checks that Azumarill so hard. But I kind of just want to go for an Earthquake here, expecting him to go for a U-turn or predict something. Now, one thing I could do is go into Gigalith and kind of scout out what this Jirachi set is. I could go back out into my Milotic and scout out what this Jirachi set is, but I think my Milotic is really, really important for the rest of this fight. Bisharp's vital to this fight, but Bisharp definitely can come in on a free switch, potentially, and handle all the threats in his team. Bisharp should be able to deal with everything that isn't Emboar on his team. So once I can get the Emboar down, Bisharp can clean up, and if it doesn't, then Haxorus should do fine. So we are going to click Earthquake here. I want to know what he's going to go for. He just goes straight for a Zen Headbutt. So he may take me out here, and that would be really unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. So, of course, he doesn't take me out, but of course he gets the flinch. It is Serene Grace, so can't be too mad about a Zen Headbutt flinch there. I could go out into my Bisharp if he decides to Zen Headbutt again. I don't want him to pop my Air Balloon necessarily, though, just because I don't love that, but it could go out into it here. If he does go for an Iron Head, that's fine. A Fire Punch would be obviously the worst case scenario there. I could just go out into my Milotic here. But I think Venusaur doesn't really have a chance to Synthesis, except right now if he misses a Zen Headbutt. So I'm going to go for the Synthesis here. He goes for the Iron Head, so he does predict me to try to switch out. But it really wasn't worth it at that point, and I don't think my Venusaur is vital. So Jirachi kills Mega Venusaur with Iron Head. Now, I could just go straight out into my Bisharp here, but I don't want him to pop the Air Balloon necessarily. He is a physical Jirachi, which allows me to go out into my Gigalith, which has the Rocky Helmet on it. Potentially set up my own rocks, force him to defog later. His only defogger is Mega Aerodactyl, so my rocks may be there to stay. I could go out into my Tornadus here, which has the knockoff, but I don't really want it to get paralyzed. And knockoff, depending on what set he's running, is really only going to do about 50% to this thing. But it would allow me to get rid of his rocks. Or I could go into Bisharp here and set up a Rock Polish. So how much does Bisharp do to a Jirachi? Does it OHKO a Jirachi? Because if it does, it doesn't quite OHKO it, depending on his investment, but it can with knockoff. I'm going to go into the Bisharp. I know it's early. I don't think I'm going to set up the Rock Polish yet. I think I'm just going to go straight for a knockoff here. He may think I have the Pursuit, so he may stay in for that. But I reveal my Air Balloon, which is fine. I think the play is just going to be going for a knockoff here. Regardless of what he brings in, he could just go straight into his Emboar, which is why I don't want to set the Rock Polish and get nothing out of this. He can't have a Z-move. His Mega Aerodactyl could come in here, but that's not a really big problem, because if it hard switches in, it can't hit me with a Ground-type move. And if he stays in with his Jirachi, Fire Punch shouldn't kill me unless he's like Max Attack Adamant, which I really should have calced against my Venusaur, to be perfectly honest, but, you know, didn't. So we're going to do that now. Let's take a Zen Headbutt. He's got Drain Punch. Oh, shoot. Okay. I didn't... Yeah. Okay. Slow down, Gold. Slow down. Jirachi kills Bisharp with Drain Punch. Alright. Take a deep breath. Relax. We know how to play this game. We're better than that. So, we're going to play like we're better than that. The next play is going to be going out into a physically defensive wall, like Milotic, and clicking Scald. Let's relax. Okay. So, the rocks dig into Milotic. He could have Thunder Punch, which, if he does, is alright. We have a lot of defensive investment. He does hard switch. He's probably going to go into the Azumarill and try to trap me once again. So the Azumarill is definitely going to be like a trap Azumarill with the Whirlpool and stuff. And with Mega Venusaur down, it's going to become a problem. Burn would be great. No burn. He's probably going to Whirlpool and then go for something along the lines of... Perish Song. Now, Haxorus could come in here. Haxorus can certainly come in here. If he goes for a Whirlpool, then I just go for a Poison Jab. And Poison Jab from a Haxorus to an Azumarill. Now, if he goes for a Play Rough, that would be game-ending. But he's got the Whirlpool. Poison Jab may not kill, depending on his set. But Milotic going down is game-ending. That is just GG at that point. So I could go out into Tornadus. Tornadus going down isn't the end of the world. It's not ideal, but knowing that his Nidoking isn't Scarfed means that Tornadus going down isn't awful. I still have Gigalith. Milotic's vital for basically everything on his team. It handles all of his team, so I can't let him stay in and Whirlpool me here. So... It's either Haxorus or Tornadus, and Haxorus is more important, even though Tornadus can't touch Azumarill. But he doesn't know that. And the thing is, I could just defog, and then I can just go for a Tailwind or something, and start going from there with my Haxorus. So there's the Whirlpool. So I could have gone into Haxorus there, but I could not risk him going for a Fairy-type move. It really wasn't close to worth it. Now I'm going to expect him to go for either he's going to switch out at this point on my Tornadus, or he's going to go for a Protect. Either way, my best play is going to be clicking Tailwind. If he goes for the Perish Song, that's also fine. The next round of Whirlpool will activate my Citrus Berry either way. And so I am going to go for the Tailwind on that very obvious Protect here. He doesn't set up the Perish Song yet, which is totally fine. We are going to take another little chunk from the Whirlpool, but we're going to eat our Citrus Berry and get back up to a decent amount of health. Now I need to do a little bit more damage to this so that the Haxorus can OHKO it, depending on, I mean, assuming that he's not super physically bulky. So I am going to click Knock Off where he can't click Protect right now. And something coming in should get its item knocked off, which would be fantastic. So he's going to stay in, so we are going to get the knockoff. Let's see what item it was. It is a Wiki Berry, so interesting. Okay, so he's going to go for the Scald, so he's like fully specially invested. He gets the burn. Okay, so Tornadus gets burned. That's okay. We're going to take a little Whirlpool damage. Now he can Protect here. I would assume that he would do that. We're looking at 2 turns of Tailwind. We're not going anywhere. So I'm going to click Defog. If he does click Protect, then fine. If not, then I get rid of his rocks, which is great for the rest of my team. But I can't really go anywhere. I can't do anything else. And so he's going to Scald again. Take out my Tornadus here. Okay. So Azumarill... Actually, Tornadus dies to burn. Which I don't think Azumarill gets the kill. So Haxorus... I don't think is guaranteed to get an OHKO here. And with the amount that knockoff did, which was literally 0, I think he's incredibly physically defensive. And Haxorus is not guaranteed to get the kill on this Azumarill if he's incredibly physically defensive. So I can go into Gigalith, which I don't want to do. I don't love the idea of doing, I should say. Because it means I have to lose my Gigalith. Whereas Haxorus I don't necessarily have to lose. I just click Poison Jab as he Whirlpools, but if he Play Roughs, and he's got any physical investment, then... I mean, my Loda can't do everything. He's got to have the physical investment. He had the Wiki Berry. Haxorus, with at +1, can win me the game, as long as I can get this Azumarill to be assured to be dead, which it's not in a guaranteed space. I have Sturdy, I have Heavy Slam, Earthquake, and Rock Blast. Rock Blast hits his entire team neutrally except for the Jirachi. Well, neutrally or better. Oh, it doesn't hit the Nidoking super effectively either, but the Nidoking is so low. Now I can Heavy Slam and just get some damage off on this thing, which does a little bit more than Rock Blast, assuming Rock Blast only hits 3 times, and is 100% accurate. And I have one more turn of Tailwind left. I'm going to click Heavy Slam here, get that damage off, allow Haxorus to come in later, and be able to kill this thing. Now, a burn would stink. No burn. Tailwind's gone. So we see the Scald. He can go for another one here. I can go for another Heavy Slam, but there's no way it lives a Poison Jab from that range. So I can click Stealth Rocks here. It lives a Heavy Slam, and it can't live a Poison Jab. So Stealth Rocks are way more important to breaking any Focus Sash or something, preventing Haxorus from getting that sweep that it needs to get at this point. Milotic does have a chance to do a lot of work here. He's going to go out into the Jirachi at this point. which is probably going to go for the Drain Punch, which is okay. We know we take another Scald from the Azumarill. We are staring down a Jirachi. We don't know it's set yet, except for that it's got a lot of physical attacks. Drain Punch from an Adamant Max Attack Jirachi. Does 25%. So at this point, I just click Earthquake and start getting damage on this Jirachi. He goes for the Iron Head, which is obviously a little stronger and has a chance to flinch, which would be very bad. And he's got the leftovers. So the 2 flinches right now, really hurting my ability to take out the Jirachi. Gigalith's value to me has dwindled. If I bring in my Milotic on the following turn, he comes in with his Azumarill. Okay, so I switch out into Milotic here. Take the hit. He comes in with his Azumarill. Saves his Jirachi. I click Scald. I go back into Gigalith. Gigalith goes down. But then I get the free switch into Haxorus. If he has Play Rough as his last move... Do I have to risk that? No, I don't have to risk that. I just go for a... I mean, Jirachi may outspeed me. If I don't get a D-Dance up. I have to go into my Milotic here. On this play. Because I need my Gigalith alive to be death fodder for the Azumarill to get the free switch into Haxorus. He sets up a substitute. So he predicted that. But I still don't know what his last move is. Now the real question is, does he have enough bulk to not let a Scald break a sub? Because then Headbutt, that did a lot of damage. So there's a Scald. Let's see, does this break a sub? Because if not, we're in a tight spot. Okay, breaks a sub. Still in a tight spot. Because I kind of have to click Recover. And by kind of, I mean I definitely do, which means he gets to set up another free sub and go for another Zen Headbutt. But that doesn't matter. Because if he flinches me here, I mean, there's nothing I can do. If he flinches me here, he just gets a lot of flinches, and it's Jirachi. Like, that's what happens sometimes. Forgetting that Jirachi had Drain Punch definitely set me back in this game, I'm not going to lie. Going out to the Bisharp there was a problem. I should have gone straight to my Milotic, which is what it is. At some point, he's going to go straight for Zen Headbutt. We can take 2 of those, so we go for a Scald here. So, get the burn. Get the burn. No burn. Can't pray for hacks. That's not how this game works. I mean, it's not like how you win this game. Gonna click Recover here. If he gets the flinch at this point, then, you know, we're in trouble. Now, there's obviously the 10% chance he misses Zen Headbutt. That's real. He goes for the Iron Head, so that's not going to do... it's not going to 2 a KO from there. So a flinch, now a Zen Headbutt kills is the problem. But I still have to... My Milotic going down... Is he Adamant? If he's Adamant, then Haxorus outspeeds. So, on my Milotic... Jirachi's Iron Head just did 30. He could be Jolly. Because if he's Jolly, he outspeeds my Haxorus. But to some degree, I don't think it matters. My Lodic's like far too important, but then if everything dies, then Azumarill wins him the game. That's the thing, is like I can't just have 1v1 against Azumarill. So I have to recover here. He has to miss his Zen Headbutt. He's going to withdraw. What's he going to go into? Nidoking. Interesting. He's going to take Stealth Rocks, which does nothing. We're going to recover, which does something. Does a lot. Now we know he outspeeds, we know he's not Scarf. And we know he didn't do 50% with a Thunderbolt. I'm gonna click recover here. I wanna know what he goes for here. I wanna know what move he's gonna click. Stealth Rock again. Okay. So he wants his rocks up. Fine. I wanna be back at full. Because I know I'll be at over 50% if he goes for a Thunderbolt. And that means that I can take a Zen Headbutt from a Jirachi. So I'm gonna click Scald. There's the Thunderbolt. Not surprising. So I get Scald off. And Nidoking goes down. So my Lodic kills Nidoking with Scald. Now here comes the Emboar. What does Emboar do to my Lodic? He could Wild Charge. He could Grass Knot. Is my play either way to switch out into Gigalith and then Haxorus? I think my play either way is switch Gigalith in and then Haxorus in. Go for an EQ with the Haxorus. Because my Lodic is healthy enough to take a hit from something. Gigalith is not. And is too slow for anything else in his team. Goes for the Wild Charge. Okay. So he's going to take out my Gigalith. So Emboar kills Gigalith with Wild Charge. Now I have to go into Haxorus here. He could be Scarfed. Scarf Wild Charge doesn't do that much. And barring a Scarf, he's not Life Orb, we did see that. He's not Leftover, he's not Life Orb. So, barring a Scarf, then we outspeed. Now I could go for the Dragon Dance, but if he does go for something crazy right here, then I'm in a really, really tight spot. But getting a Dragon Dance up could still win me the game. Although the Alolan Persian is definitely still a threat. I'm going to go for the EQ here. Because if he goes into that Alolan Persian, which he does, the foul play is super scary. And we're going to get an EQ off here, straight up. It's not worth risking anything. Which does so much damage to that Persian. It does outspeed me. Foul play does 63-75%. Which is a lot of damage. I'm checking right now to verify whether or not Alolan Persian gets Sucker Punch. Which I think it does, but I just want to make sure. Because if it does, I can't set up a Dragon Dance. I don't see Sucker Punch. I don't see Sucker Punch. Can't set up a Dragon Dance if he does. But assuming that he is not running Sucker Punch, then I could set up a Dragon Dance because I'm slower, take one foul play, then outspeed, and run train. So that's what I'm going to do. Goes for the foul play. If he's scarfed, that's good prep. I take one, I Dragon Dance. If he's scarfed, then that's good prep. If he's got Sucker Punch, which I didn't see as a move that it could learn, then that's good prep. He is scarfed Alolan Persian. Man! Oh, I could have switched out there. But, hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Sometimes you get big wins, you feel real good about yourself. Sometimes you get big losses, and you don't. Just want to pause the video for a second here and talk to you guys. As I was watching this in post and talking to Techno after the battle, I realized that despite the hacks, despite my frustration, I still feel like I actually played everything right. He has this Scarfed Alolan Persian that you just saw take out my Haxorus, and if it wasn't Scarfed, Haxorus actually did win me the game. We talked about it afterwards, and with the Stealth Rocks up, everything died to something at +1 Haxorus, and he didn't have any priority on his team. So, the moral of the story is, no matter what the game is doing to you, and as you'll see at the end of this game, it's going to go the same way that you'd expect it to. No matter what the game is doing to you, push yourself, keep thinking of your outs, play the game the way you need to play the game, because yes, you may still lose, but the reason I lost this game was not the hacks that happened. It wasn't anything that happened before this moment. It was his good prep in recognizing that a +1 Haxorus was a problem for his team and putting on a Scarfed Alolan Persian. That's why he won this game. And I want you guys to recognize that that's good prep. And yes, during the battle, I'm a little bit frustrated. But right now, I want you guys to recognize that I'm actually really in awe of good prep. And I think you guys should take from this that there's a difference between getting tilted and recognizing when someone else did something right. And he actually, this particular Scarf was an amazing play. And so props to Techno for that. I'll let you guys finish the battle now, but I hope you guys take that away from this, that I was still playing this battle as hard as I possibly could play this battle. But take care, everybody. And this is one of those examples of times where you have to pick yourself up after a loss. Am I in the best mental state? I don't know. I'm not going to start talking about it. I'm not going to make any excuses about why I lost this game, because I feel like, yes, I did play poorly, but in some regard, I've been out-prepared, right? There's a couple of things that I was not, like, I knew that I had to go for the Dragon Dance there. Could I have taken out the Persian, seen what he brought in next? Yes. But by the same token, I think there's really nothing differently that I would have done if I played again, and that what that says to me is that he prepped extraordinarily well for this matchup. Now my play is to click recover here. I don't know what item he has. If it's a choice band, then we're about to take a hefty chunk of damage. But, you know, outside of a choice band here, we just need to be as healthy as we possibly can be. So, I know he's doing a little bit more than I'm recovering, but he is taking recoil damage. So he will kill himself eventually. And the Azumarill does win him the game at this point, even if his Emboar cannot finish off my Milotic. But it looks like the next one will kill my Milotic. It looks like it is going to be a big 5-0 win for Techno. So welcome to the league, Techno. I think this is an incredible battler. I think you guys saw him last week against Leo, put in a lot of work. You know, do I have excuses to make? Yes, I'm sure. I can make excuses, right? I can tell you all sorts of fun things that are wrong, right? I'm not in the best mental state. I'm exhausted. My body hurts from the tournament this weekend. Whatever I want to say, I can say. And I've seen my opponents say it in weeks past when they lose. But what I'm going to do to you guys right now is say one thing and one thing only. And that's, if you don't learn from your losses, then you don't deserve to win. And so what I'm going to do right now is take away from this battle what I learned from this loss. One, Techno's an amazing, amazing battler. So shout outs to Techno and welcome to the league. Two, I think that I need to prep a little bit better for these matchups coming up, because maybe I got a little bit complacent. maybe, you know, I just didn't work hard enough on this matchup. I predicted poorly on some of the stuff that I thought he was going to bring. And, you know, didn't remember that Jirachi got Drain Punch. Things like that I need to make sure that I'm aware of. And I need to learn from that. So, did I take a loss this week? Yes. Can I afford to take a loss this week? Yes. Basically what this means is that we are going to put ourselves in a position where winning one of the next 2 weeks will guarantee us most likely a playoff spot, which is what I need to do. And yes, we've probably given Danza the 2 seed, but we can still beat him and potentially take it from him. He could lose to Techno as well. So, have we put ourselves in a position to fail in this league? No. And that's the best part of this. 6-game winning streak, it's over. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We're still the new guy, right? We're still learning. And we've seen that we've lost multiple battles in this league. But when I go in these rants at the end of battles, guys, what I want you to take away is that I'm not making excuses about why I've lost. I'm not saying that my opponent did something or got the hacks or whatever. What I'm saying is, these are the lessons I'm taking with me, and next week, when I take on Danza, I expect, as I always expect, to win that match. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I don't love uploading losses, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next week when I take on the Los Angeles Nidokings, coached by Danza, in a battle of what very well may be the person who gets the bye and the person who just misses out, as even though we lose, we still could win the head-to-head and take that from him as well. So I will see you guys next week, and I hope you guys enjoy. Take care, everybody!